In oneness with the wholeness, sharing higher consciousness. Today's topic over the radio airwaves is love. Love. What is love? How can one describe love? And love's for so many items, so many people, so many things, and all different almost categories of love. Romantic love, love for Mother Earth, love for one's child, love for the compassion towards a stranger. So many different levels of love to be experienced. We say that underneath layers of human experience is a love so grand, so pure, it is light. Loving light, that is what the focus is. Loving light, the loving light of the universe, and loving light of one's truest essence of who they are. So when we speak about love in this segment, we are speaking about the love one holds within, that is naturally there, that is naturally given, that is who one's authentic self is. And yet with time and experience and conditions, this love becomes buried under layers. Some find it very difficult to find love towards oneself. Some have such a grand sense of love for oneself, and yet find it difficult to find compassion and kindness, putting oneself first, if you will. We are speaking about the greatest part of who you are. For if one truly is loving themselves in we want to say a space that there is very little compassion towards another, very little kindness towards another, putting one first. We don't mean putting one before another, but feeling more than another and dismissing others. That truly is love that is buried underneath experience. Because love in its purest form, the love we speak about, the love that you hold, the love that you are, would never condemn another, would only express compassion to oneself and to another, would only express kindness to oneself and to another. And so the love that we speak about is in its purest form. Again, so pure it becomes light. Would light ever be condemning? When ones think about light, ones perhaps think about expansion, about giving, about sharing, warming, if you will, kindness, light, to send light forth, the radiant light ones hold within. Now again, it isn't experienced if the layers cover this love and light, loving light. And what we speak about is not the catchphrase, oh, love and light. Ones will say, oh, love and light, and then cut someone off in the freeway. Be unkind to a total stranger. Look down upon another. Oh, loving light. That is not what we speak about. We speak about a love so grand, it is your light to shine. And it is the same love and the same light in the oneness, in the wholeness of the universe. Would you ponder that the light in the twinkling stars is from the same essence, if you will, of the light you hold? The light in the wisdom of the moon. Would one ponder the oneness and the wholeness? And is it possible the light of the moon, the wisdom of the moon, is truly the same light you hold within? And what about the rays of the sun? We're not kidding. We're not kidding. Light from the universe is one with the light of who you are. We often speak about shining one's inner light, shining one's brilliance. And it is difficult to shine brilliance in its purest form. Again, not shine brilliance to make another feel less than. That isn't the love we speak about. If each soul understood one's very own, we want to say existence, eternal light, there would only be expansion to shine. So think about the stars twinkling in the sky. Think about the sun's rays and think about the light and the wisdom of the moon. Think about how it always shines upon, always extending light forward or outward, outward and beyond, always shining light, always. Now, if ones could see that brilliance so often taken for granted, ones know stars twinkle, ones know the rays of the sun, light to warm the planet. Ones know the glow of the moon is always there. But ones do not know that the same light in this connection is always there within. It gets lost in the travel. It gets lost in the upsets. It gets lost in the disappointments. It gets lost in the frustration. It gets lost in anger. When one goes searching for one's authentic self, the pure sense of who one is, one has a deep understanding and a deep knowing that it is the same light, part of the whole. We often say that each soul is like pieces of a jigsaw puzzle coming together, creating the most magnificent portrait. All here for grand reason, all here for grand purpose. And ones will say, I don't know what my purpose is. I don't know what I'm doing here most times. Why did I even arrive? My life feels like a mess. I don't see any light. I don't see light from others. In fact, it feels like I'm living in darkness most of the time. When one goes searching for the light held within, underneath the layers, ones will discover the greatest treasure of who they are. Now, how does one go about finding one's own inner light in the purest sense of the word? Not to be better than another, not to prove a point, oh, I'm more loving than you are. And you see that at times when one's, we want to say, take a spiritual path. At times they feel so enlightened. There's a sense of feeling superior. Well, I'm on this enlightened path. You are not. And this enlightened path, this path that is to be created for a sense of oneness, sort of starts condemning others that are not on the same travel. You see it often. You see it often. Now, we're not saying that ones that are on a spiritual path are condemning, not at all. What we are saying is to be mindful of how one is perceiving the light and the love. The light and the love. Is it in the purest sense? If one is judging others, it's not in the purest sense. It's going to sound truly fluffy, but do you think the moon condemns? Do you think the sun passes judgment? Do you think the stars, in the gathering of all the stars, is separated from the others? Well, I shine more brightly than you do. Look at you, you don't shine at all. I twinkle all the time. I have found my truest light. I twinkle far greater than you twinkle. It isn't possible that the stars act this way. So when we talk about the purest sense of who you are, the purest sense of love, the purest sense of depth in your being, it isn't a space to condemn another. It is only compassion and kindness. It is. We could have many words, but when it comes right down to it, compassion and kindness. So, how does one search for this loving light? How does one remove the layers when one is so wrapped up in a belief system that one is not even deserving of the light? Some will listen to this and think, what a whole lot of BS, fluffy nonsense. And others would listen to the words and say, oh, how do I find my wisdom like the wisdom in the moon? How do I twinkle like the stars in the heavens? How do I radiate my light like the rays of the sun? So when you not compare yourself, not at all, when you understand that you are part and piece of the whole, that you are embracing Mother Earth, and Mother Earth is embracing you, supporting you. When one can see that all are connected, there would only be kindness and compassion. For how could one condemn another? Knowing the brilliance, knowing of the connection. Because when one is condemning another, one is truly condemning themselves. When one is being unkind to another, one is truly being unkind to oneself. And it might not even be experienced sort of on the outside. but it is experienced within. One knows when they have been unkind, whether it was deliberate or not. There is a knowing that comes with it. And in this space, if one is unkind to another, there is an empty feeling. There is a space of great loss. And not loss as in for the other. Loss within oneself. When one says unkind words to another, the receiver, it is painful, especially if the receiver believes in this unkind language. But it is the one delivering the unkind words that truly, we want to say, suffers. Now, ones will say, well, I don't know. I'm around someone who always is unkind and they're not suffering at all. In fact, they're doing very well in life. In fact, they thrive on being unkind and they seem very happy. Really? And wouldn't it be something if ones could look within? If ones could look within the other, they would not see joy and happiness. They wouldn't even see success. What they would see is pain. They would see it as pain. Have you ever been upset, sad, angry? And all of a sudden you have to meet up with someone who doesn't know anything about it. And when you meet them, you extend this joyful look about yourself. And you pretend that all is well. And for the most part, the other believes that all is well. And then you leave that one, and when you're on your own and the anger returns, and the upset returns, you are knowing that it never went away, even though you tried to cover it up. Now, if ones are really in tune, they will see the falsehood. They will look through the fake smile and sort of get a vibration, get an energy from you that things are not well, that you are not being truthful. If ones could look within others, ones would see, and if ones could see all the layers, if layers were truly something that could be seen, oh my goodness. Ones would understand why one is being unkind. Ones would understand why one has been cruel to another. They would see the layers upon layers upon layers upon layers upon layers of anguish. Where are we going with all this when we started with the subject of love? We want to suggest that one starts searching for the grandest part of who they are. That one goes searching for the depth of compassion beyond what they know and have experienced. That if one could go searching for the kindness so pure that one would always be mindful of one's words. We want this grand search. We have titled, if you will, these segments, Sharing Higher Consciousness. And when ones go in search for their beauty, for the light, for the love, the purest sense. It is higher consciousness. For when ones would then say light and love, they would never cut off another intentionally on the freeway. They would be so mindful. They would be so kind. Higher consciousness, understanding the oneness, understanding the wholeness. And we are wanting to guide ones to ponder. This is a sharing. We're not wanting to change a belief system. We are wanting to share for ones to find within their own answers. For ones to find their own answers. So with that, we will conclude our segment on love, but many, many, many to follow. And we are going to speak about higher consciousness each segment. But we are wanting to start by sharing the love that is held deep within, underneath the layers of human experience. That is where we're starting. And we will continue sharing, we'll continue our journey to share higher consciousness, for ones to explore, for ones to ponder, for ones to create a space, if they so choose, to create a space for higher consciousness. Really, really good. In the oneness of the wholeness is your light, dancing with the light of creation. There is great love for you.